Welcome back for another Hobby Ramble. I'm Addy,
I'm Matt.
and this is a box.
It's a big box, and it's full of stuff I don't know anything about.
Matt has never seen anything in this box, and I have only seen this stuff in this box maybe 15 years ago. That's not true. I did go through it. This box has had many iterations. It used to be bigger, and I did take a lot of things out of it over time. But for today's episode, we're going to look through all of my old Warhammer. This is stuff that dates all the way back to 1996, I think.
I was gonna say, I all I know about this is that you were largely a fantasy player, so this is more in line with the old world stuff that's coming up. Because you played both factions that are in the old world?
Both Bretonnia and Tomb Kings. I also have some very old lizardmen.
Lizard folk.
And that had vampire counts, which I've already been converting into Soulblight. And I do have some 40k in here too. Well, I actually know one kit that I haven't. So let's get started.
Yeah, like Ryan says, we might just have like legitimate current Eldar stock if you
I actually don't have any old Eldar. So let's go. We'll go to the overhead here. This is actually a very, very old kit that I just pulled out. Let's see. If we do this, we can really see it. And while we're looking through all this stuff, we're also going to talk about starting new projects. How do you pick projects? What are the things that that we think about when we pick projects, and how do we approach them?
And I'm going to ask a bunch of questions about how fantasy even works.
You can see this used to be clear.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna start opening this up. So this was part of my. There's two things actually going on here. First of all, I have this was all of my extra zombies for my vampire accounts, because you need zombie markers to resurrect more zombies. Why buy another kit when it comes with tombstones and hands sticking out of the ground?
So was this in the age where it's just like you needed 1 million models to fill out a unit? So you're just like, tombstones are zombies too.
This is before that, but I was also, I think I was 16 or 17. I was probably 16 or 17 at the time, and didn't have the money to buy another zombie kit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So this way I could have a big block of zombies. So, I had 20, but now I can have 40 with all the extra placeholders. The other thing that's in here that's actually a little...
And they paint up real quick, I bet.
Yeah. This here is the skeleton kit from... It's not from 91, but it's probably close to it. This was a kit that came with both plastic and metal sprues.
Nice.
Here you'd
have the metal... Wow, look at that flail.
This has a metal head.
Love it.
Right, so this
it's top heavy.
This kit actually hasn't been really updated for Tomb Kings. I think this is the same kit.
But you would have,
but with
this is current for old world Tomb Kings playable models.
Yeah, it's the same bodies for all of that. Oh, I wonder what these are.
So how do you feel about that as someone who is jacked about old world,
old metal axe?
How do you feel about the fact that a lot of it is going to end up being very old models and might not get the same level of support as even a Horus Heresy gets probably more support than
I would say
going to get, at least at first.
I would say on the one hand, I'm kind of bummed that we're not getting new skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, these are so fast to paint. I'm gonna have an army painted almost completely except for characters in a weekend.
Mm-hmm. And I'd venture to say that the what was I gonna say? There's just something that I like. You see it's gotten fairly popular for YouTube folks to paint up old models with more modern techniques, and it is kind of cool seeing the old models with a much more updated look to them. We got a box in a box.
Yeah, I found these were in the skeleton box. These are all these are metal sister bits. I did have one sister model. Is that I think it was like
Dialogus?
no, it was whatever the character is.
Oh.
But this is before sisters were an army. This was you could there's like you could have battle sisters and one character, and that was it. So I don't know where that model is. I think it's lost, but I do have those bits, which is cool to find. Ooh, okay, this is...
I totally agree, Mr. Carvili. I see all the new models coming in. I'm just also being the voice of somebody who isn't going to play Old World and is looking at a bunch of old models and going, but if these are your models, I mean, by all means, I think it's cool that you're going to be able to do more. Oh, it's a bunch of orcs.
Yeah, so this is the 6th edition starter box. It came with orcs. Wow, look at that plastic glue. You can see that on the base. It's like reflective.
Wow.
So this was the starter box. It was orcs versus Empire. The cannon. These you can see like this beautiful primer job where it's still dusty. You can feel it.
Yeah, but look at these cool axes and no head on this guy. He doesn't need them.
Yeah, so we have... This is not a bad paint job, even.
Once you remove the dust.
Yeah.
I have seen worse paint jobs.
Yeah, like, these are totally fine. These are okay. Nah, this is not so good.
You have to show it to the camera, though, Eddie.
Yeah, this is... Empire guy. Looks decent. Orc guy, not so much.
It's green.
Yeah. What everyone
Green man with metal and orc.
What was your first Warhammer army and what year? You don't have to tell me what year, but
you could.
But you could. Look at this goblin. This goblin's good.
No, that goblin's rad.
Yeah. There's a period where I like didn't have enough money to buy big kits, but I could buy blisters because they're like $10-20.
Yeah.
You could like swing that.
That's lawn mowing money or whatever you were doing, wherever you were at. I feel like you've been all over the world.
Yeah, there's all sorts of bits in here. I'm trying to pull. So there's like all the stuff from the starter box, but there's also stuff from a much older starter box. So this is a 5th edition Lizardman from the starter box. This is a Saurus warrior.
Oh, that's very cool though. It is a cool Saurus warrior. Yeah. I like that he's mostly kind of skiing. I know there's just plates of scale on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching the painting phase. They were talking about how there's just like you can tell that the Warhammer community is like excited or is like missing a certain level of silliness when you do see them put out some model that's like kind of silly and the whole community turns it into a meme immediately, like the crab, a year or two ago, or like the squid guy recently.
You might notice that I'm pulling stuff out of here. This all goes to another kit that I actually want. These are old Tomb Guard shields. So I'm pulling all of them out.
There's a lot of horse. There's a rad horse in here, and he's just working around it. What's this from? Empire stuff?
This is Empire. I have I think this is like an Empire like general or something.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Oh, and he rides.
Goes on the horse.
Look at that plume.
This is an orc thing. We got a shield with a hand stuck to it. Then the boar. So I think I saw that. Here we go.
The Gore Grunta. Whatever it is.
I think it was like had a simpler name for a simpler time.
On boar.
Yeah, war boss, which you have an option to give him a boar as a mount.
With boar. How did that work? Like, because I know it was a much more like customizable sort of situation where you could like, oh, well, we're gonna throw in this unit, 3 of them are going to have spears. One of them is going to have like this relic that they found on this thing, and one has this upgrade, and like
Yeah, so like you have a unit, so like maybe you have your orc archers, and you have a command. You might not for like archers. You didn't always take a command because it wasn't always worth it. Um, but then your characters, like there wasn't, like I'll use the 40k example because that one is probably the most egregious. With like you have captain with jetpack, you have captain in Gravis armor, you have captain with power fist.
Sure.
Right, they're all are different data sheets. In fantasy, and it looks like an old world, like that's going away, and it's just like you can have. Yeah, like a captain or whatever, your character model is.
Sure.
And you can give them, a mount if you want. You can give them a spear or a sword, or you can give them heavy armor or light armor. Like it's
so you're like doing modifiers on top of a sheet, or
yeah. Basically, like you have the data sheet. Oh, this goes with stuff in the box. So you have the data sheet, and based on the data sheet, you can add things, and you just pay points, just like in Heresy, right? A lot of it is very
I'm seeing the crossover, which makes sense because it's kind of the business model they're following for Old World, similar to Heresy. So we got a bunch of Tomb Kings.
These are the Tomb Kings, which is what I'm planning to probably build up first.
I was gonna say, like, kind of segueing into how, like, you have obviously, I mean, we haven't gotten to Bretonian stuff, but I know it's in there. You've talked in depth about it. And you have a bunch of Tomb Kings. How do you, when this new game is coming up that allows you to pull all this stuff back out and play with it, what's influencing your decision of who you pick up and who you run with at that point?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I because neither one of my armies is actually playable right now. You'll see. I mean, they're in tatters.
Sure.
So we have a bone giant here, which I think I tried to build a custom bow for him because he used to be able to take a bow. It didn't go great. So I'll need to figure out another Kopesh for him. But this is like pretty chunky. Like it should be easy to make or find a 3D print to give him something in the other hand.
Sure. Or that's just punch in hand.
Yeah. So right. So Bretonia, lots of paint to do there to get it up to like a playable point. Tomb Kings, it's like a weekend, especially with the old skeletons.
Yeah, I do wonder a little bit if Tomb Kings are going to be overrepresented in Old World for a while, just because they'll be quicker to get painted up.
Oh, absolutely. But not a lot of people are going to have these old Tomb Guard. These are old metal Tomb Guard before they got made into plastic. They are very like classic fantasy.
They're good sculpts, though.
Yeah, but right, very static. There's only 2 poses for them. They're either sword up, sword down.
But they have two poses.
Yeah, they have 2 poses, not just one. I think I have 10 of them. Let's see. So this is definitely a unit that I will be bringing back. And again, like the champion is definitely missing a sword arm, and I don't know that I have it.
I was gonna say, it does seem like for you to pull out your old models, you're going to need to do a little bit of like, oh, I need to green stuff this. I need to cast a little Kopesh. I need to do this. I need to do that.
Look at that. Oh, I'm down. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I'm missing 2. I'm not missing 2. I actually think that this is just how many you'd get in a box, because you get 2 5s, I think, and then you get the command as in a blister. So this is also like back to the old stuff.
Oh yeah, Addie's a big Kopesh fan.
Yeah, it's all about the Kopeshes. Let's go. I'm gonna do the bigger overhead so we can see. I just racked up the unit, so we can see. There's a standard bearer that's gonna go here. I don't have the right base for him right now, but none of these bases are right anymore anyway. But what you would do, just like in Heresy, I mean now in 40k too, your model can
You
join.
attach your.
So you attach your Tomb
Mhm.
King to your Tomb Guard, and this is actual decently painted Tomb King. This is probably from like 2004, 2005 for me.
Yeah.
Very I almost like feel bad stripping these models to repaint them. We'll see.
Take some photos, strip it, and do the same paint job back, but do it
That's the idea.
like. I think that's the way to do it. I don't think there's any reason to be too precious about too many of them. Maybe keep one in each unit. If you build multiple units and you've got the plastic kits or whatever, you have one metal in each of the units would be rad.
Yeah, and then all these shields that I was pulling out, these are all in here.
They're going to stay in.
They're gonna stay in there because this is a box I'm probably gonna come back to build the army. Well, we can stay on the theme of Tomb Kings.
Oh my god!
I have a bag of
Just loose arms, shields, and I don't even know if it's worth taking out. There's just bits in there. There's green stuff with just green stuffed armor parts together.
Yeah, this is skeleton horse.
Skeleton horse.
Very
Can't
cool
even
stuff.
see that it's a skeleton horse. There we go. There we go.
See. Oh, look at this. There is good stuff in here. So the skeleton horse in there is probably for the Lich Priest on horse. This is
fit.
this is even a miscast, I think.
That's big money.
Yeah, like his foot's all kind of mangled, which is fine. I mean, he's a skeleton, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so we have
I'm
this.
seeing all your extra bits you have to work with
Yeah, look at
spears and axes and shields and.
this. This is probably from the chariot. This guy. It's just it's the body, but this is a semi-modern skeleton. Semi-modern. It's from like 2006. Yeah, there's like all these there's all these bits in here. I'm looking to see if there's anything like really good and really exciting. Oh, look at that. Look what I found. It's the Khopesh from the Bone Giant.
Keep that for later.
Oh, there's some Skaven bits. It's
The gun
handguns.
gun hands.
What's this? What is
I was
this?
gonna say, it looks like you were converting.
This is I don't know.
Really green stuff. You put a silly hat on him.
It's like a skeleton. It's probably for vampire accounts, like one of the mounted skeleton things. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, there's some dark elf stuff in here. I inherited a dark elf army from someone. Oh, look, this. Remember this. See this? If anybody can tell me what this is, what kit this came from, I will buy you a drink at Waystone.
I am
Next time you're
completely out
there.
of this.
I want to see. I should have another piece for that same kid.
I do feel like watching people pull out their own models. I feel a little bit of jealousy because I wasn't into this at that time. I've only really gotten into it in the past couple of years. But there's also the aspect of when you see somebody who is getting back into their old toys and they're just like, oh man, immediately back to being 12 years old, something like that, maybe 14.
Yeah.
We got Waystone calling it a demon horn. Could be.
But anything else? So this is so you used to get all these conversion bits with your Chaos Warriors that are just mutated arms and like heads and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. You could actually decide how mutated they were going to be.
Yeah. Okay, so that stuff you can leave
Very
out.
feed me, Seymour.
Yeah. There's other things in here. So this is, oh look, look, I found the Kopesh for the sergeant champion. They're called champions. Well, we call them champions here. Okay, this will go back. There's other cool stuff in here, but this is a good bag. Like this has a lot of.
I was gonna say,
bits and parts
I
of
think
models.
it's one of those bags that is like maybe less exciting to show off, but it's the gold when you're actually building in an army. Like, it is something that I'd think of if I were starting, is sitting there going, how much of the bits do I have if I wanted to customize things or change things up or do anything like this?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of horses in there.
So this is the famous bag of Bretonia. This is my second to last army before I stopped playing. Vampire comes after that.
These poor loose Pegasus wings just wandering around in there.
Let's see. We got one Pegasus Knight.
This is half a Pegasus Knight.
Oh, it's missing a head.
It's like missing the head and the knight.
Yeah. So this is another Pegasus. Oh, how many Pegasi do I have? So I got 3 here. Pegasus. And then 2 wings. So that's another one. That must be a whole. And then there's another. Wow, I have 6. I have 6 Pegasus Knights. Well, this is 4. Don't worry, I know how to count.
I believe that there might be more.
But they came in boxes of 3. And I can't remember if the knights on them were any different. Yeah, here's one that's painted.
Ooh, excuse me.
I think this is actually.
Well, that just means you don't need to buy the new kit that's gonna.
Well, they're not redoing this kit.
Oh, so Pegasus Knights, one thing.
The Pegasus Lord guy.
Okay.
Pegasus. Oh no, this is definitely not a Pegasus Knight. You can see that his lance is actually exactly where the wing goes.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Tough.
but here's like a fully painted Pegasus. This is like I was okay.
Yeah.
I was okay.
The best I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen, but it makes sense. It was your last army.
Second to last. My vampire counts I had after this one.
Mm-hmm.
But also the great part is this is also some of the first models ever painted. Also, Bretonia. This is a 5th edition Archerman that I painted probably when I was 9 or 10.
Love it.
Yeah, using some like
It holds up.
testers and enamels. Ooh, got to be really careful here. This is a little broken. Don't want to lose that.
Lose the feather tip.
Yeah.
So the thing that gets me with Bretonia. So I was thinking about this. I was talking with my wife about it the other day. There's the new Bretonians they're releasing. It looks like GW is going, hey, here is the color scheme that the whole Bretonians are going to use. And I know by happenstance that that wasn't how it used to be in the other things. It used to be it's an alliance of many different houses, and they all have their own livery and symbols and colors and all of that. And I do get how much easier it would be to have a single paint scheme for things, but it does seem like I just want to have the over the top, everything's a different color Bretonia.
Yeah, so I agree. That's one of the fun things about the army because every model is different.
Yeah. Because I've seen pictures of people's completed Bretonian knights, and it's like everyone's an individual in that army, which is very cool.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that they're saying that everyone's the same color now is because in history, in Bretonia history, the time that this is happening was before they were unified. So each dukedom has its own spiel.
Sure. So it's not the kingdom of Bretonia that's showing up. It is, you are playing a house
Yeah.
in Britannia or some sort of fiefdom.
Yeah. And I guess this is probably one of the reasons that I was more interested in doing my Tomb Kings. This feels a lot harder to pull back together. My Tomb Kings, this feels like actually like a more complete collection.
Sure.
That is in shambles, where the Tomb Kings are like totally wrecked.
Yeah.
So starting over doesn't feel as bad. And then there is a lot of work here, and there's a lot of stuff that's salvageable, but it is just going to take time. And they got rid of my favorite model.
Oh no.
It is the
lady?
No, it's called the Night. It's like the Night Reliquary or something. It's not the Night Reliquary, but it's something like that.
Sure.
And it is a bunch of men-at-arms carrying the skeleton of a knight.
Okay.
And they could go in a block. I think they would go inside of a block of men-at-arms. And one of the guys was the horse, and he was just holding the skull of a horse. It's just this weird, very like...
It's very like Triumph of St. Catherine-esque.
Yeah, very much like the new Cities of Sigmar Pontifex lady.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like, it's very grimdark like that, in a way that a lot of other AOS stuff isn't.
Yeah.
Except for, or like, and even other fantasy stuff, like, wasn't that dark.
Well, it's like reaching into that sort of, I don't know, that medieval religious
Ooh, this is broken too.
aspect of things where like things are dark, things are spooky.
Yeah.
There are witches and demons and scary stuff out there in the world. What was I gonna say? I do think like that reminds me of, we were chit-chatting a little bit before this where I was talking about, I learned that in fantasy that once the points got to a certain level, it became popular to have people build spacers. So like if you had a block that was going to be this big, but you only had enough models to fill up around the outside, you might fill in the middle of that movement tray with a little scene that you make that takes up that space. That's thematic with the unit that it's going with, but it isn't necessarily, 20 more models that fill in that block. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like, I learned about that. I'm like, oh, well, I would do that in a heartbeat. Like little dioramas that are mixed in with your army that kind of give it all that flavor. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then I opened this box, and then I'm like, maybe I do want to do Bretonnia.
Look at them. These are metal, right?
Yeah. These are, I think these are all questing knights, or at least mostly questing.
This is old. The old metal's much lighter than.
Well, the horses are plastic.
Oh, okay. The horses are plastic. The people are metal.
And then the trebuchet.
It's always hard. It's hard for me because I guess I thought that GW moved in bigger jumps through a lot of these kits. Like they were working in metal, and then they had some resin pieces that they'd go with, or
Halfling spotter.
I love a halfling.
So all resin was after my time,
right? Because it was like it ended up being that they needed to. That's when they rolled out fine cast, but that was because they were trying to replace some of the metal.
Yeah.
And I guess I just didn't realize how much like cast plastic was still going on when there was metal in production at the same time too.
Oh yeah, it was for a long time you get both. So like your rank and file were plastic, and then your special units were metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is all questing knights and a trebuchet, and it's not a hippogriff. I forget what these are called.
This looks like a griffin to me. But...
Yeah, it's a griffin. I forget if it's I think it might be an Empire Griffin though. Yeah, it's an Empire. Is it? No, this is the king.
King on Griffin?
Yeah, I think this is like the named character. That's just his torso.
Big Daddy B.
You get the idea. And then, all the quest units. These are really cool models. And then then I look at this box and I'm like, well, maybe I do this. The damsel on horse.
I think like that's definitely part of what I wanted to talk about today. It's just like I'm getting to the point where I finished up this commission recently. Surprise, Steven, I'm taking pictures tomorrow if you're watching. And I'm getting ready to like start the next thing that I want to do. And for for a while, I mean, even on here, I was saying, oh, I'm gonna go do Votan. I'm gonna go get my 40k army done and all that. But after I'm finishing the commission, I'm sitting here going like, I am not excited to work on the Votan, and I feel like that's so much of what I want to do at this point is to be excited about a thing and then work on it until I'm no longer excited on it and then work on something that I'm excited to work on. I don't know. So as you're sitting here looking at the Bretonians going, ooh, maybe I do. It would be the bigger project. It would be the more irritating thing to do. Probably it would be the more involved painting, but I think I would be more excited to do that. I don't really get skeletons though. Although
I love my skeletons. So this is funny. I actually have this model painted. It's sitting on my other desk.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a second one. This is a damsel. This is actually a really great model. So I might paint this up just for funsies.
Well, yeah, Mr. Corvilli, I'm a little torn in both directions. Like people reusing existing mythology for monsters and stuff like that. There's something to having it be in everybody's vernacular where you don't even have to be looking at us pulling out a griffin model to know that it's a griffin, or like to know what that means or what that looks like. And there's something to that when you're trying to make a bunch of things where when I say, when I was earlier when the war boss came out and I was saying a gore grunt, I'm like, I don't know. I only know that because of what I've seen in Age of Sigmar. Boar is probably a better way to put it.
So here are the current Tomb King skeletons, which are rumored to be what's coming out. What we don't know is the archers.
Sure.
We don't know if the archers are staying the same or if these are changing, but these are very old skeleton bodies with a little upgrade sprue that they did for Tomb Kings. But yeah, so like if these are the models, these paint up in literally 5 minutes. Like, you do all the shields separate.
Sure.
And you airbrush. It's just like you don't have to airbrush. You can just Wraithbone, Rattle Can, and Skeleton Horde, and dry brush with your favorite bone color. And
I don't doubt it.
You basically.
I don't doubt that it's very fast. So, I'm just saying how much doing something fast is not always the most satisfying thing for me. I think, Mr. Carvilli, to answer your question about manticores or chimeras, you're asking a self-selecting audience of nerds who probably know what all those things are.
Yeah. Here's some more Tomb King characters. It's a Lich Priest, and I think it's Khalida. She was a named character. I don't know if she exists in Old World. We'll find out.
No, I've seen somebody. What was it? I think eBay Rescues did an interpretation of her. I've recently seen.
Oh, it was do you remember that class we took at
was it him?
He did it.
Yeah, we took a class at
Tacoma Open.
Thanks. And there was the guy who's teaching our class was a former Golden Demon winner. And at the end of it, he showed us one of the models that he painted up, and it was her, but it was heavily converted, and everything was all wrapped up with green stuff that he hand sculpted and all of that. And
I think it was almost it wasn't even. He didn't even start with this model as a base. It was almost scratch built. It did have a model underneath, but it was very little.
The bones of a model.
Yeah. So the bones of a model, literally. So here's this leg that we had. Now you know it's a leg. It came from a tomb scorpion.
A tomb scorpion. Oh
And
no.
I lost another leg is broken, but that's easier to fix than a
That's
whole
battle
leg.
damage, baby.
Yeah.
So is that bones? That's a dude's head in the back.
There's like a whole like a
There's a man in
sarcophagus.
there.
Yeah. So this, I don't know if this has rules or not. The whole thing is like we don't actually know what has rules for Tomb King.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird in that like there have been a bunch of reveals of models, but like also not a ton of reveals. So you don't know how many of your old models are still going to be around. You don't know what's going to have rules, what's not going to have rules. You don't know what those rules are going to be. You don't know what it did they even say like what edition they're basing
No,
Old World off
it's
of?
kind of a combination of everything.
Did they give you? Have they released any rules
Oh,
examples
yeah,
yet
yeah.
at this
So
point?
the
Okay.
rules are actually looking pretty good.
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with all the rules. They've been doing every Monday. They release a
Oh,
different
alright.
phase, and everything looks basically like what I would expect it to. Everything is like a little more streamlined, but still very crunchy, like very very crunchy. Here's a Chaos Hound.
That's very cool.
We're getting into really old stuff. This is my the first army that I bought for myself that wasn't like part of, hey, this is a starter box. Congratulations, you now play Empire and
armies.
Six.
Yeah.
Was Chaos. Let's see what we have here. Good old corn. And an ogre. This
And an ogre.
This is actually one of the last models I think I painted.
I was gonna say, I think this is a rad ogre.
Yeah.
I love this model.
Yeah.
Ah, what a chunk of pewter that is. Oh, I want to paint this. It's so cool.
Chaos Knights.
Chaos Knights are always cool.
That's a unit that I think I do want to strip and paint because I just think they're really cool. This is a Corn Lord on Juggernaut.
Sure.
I think this was a Juggernaut.
It's hard without the head.
Yeah. This is a Demon
Beast
Prince.
Man. Oh, Demon Prince.
Archon, Lord of the End Times. This is before he was the Ever Chosen.
He was just sometimes chosen.
This is a troll.
Big old troll. I love these. These are my favorite yet.
Beastman Shaman.
But I also like these are
There's
old goofy metal models, and this is the stuff that I actually have found that I really like.
the old Chaos.
There's so much character in this.
Yeah. I think the metal models from this line are really good. Oh yeah, here's the head. Yeah, this wasn't a Juggernaut. This was a demonic mount. That's what this was.
Demon Mount.
Yeah. There's a couple models that I'm really sad that I lost. I had the classic Champion of Corn where he has the like flail, but it's just like a ball and chain flail and the axe.
Yeah.
And he was really well painted.
Do you have Slambo in here somewhere?
No, but these are pretty close to Slambo.
I like how far forward his neck is.
Yeah.
What is going on with this dude? Look at his neck sticking out. He's got like really bad scoliosis.
That's how all of them were. These are really bad. These are terrible sculpts.
Like, I don't hate it with the helmet, but it's still rough anatomy wise.
This is more parts of a Demon Prince.
Yeah, exactly. I am all about the Slambo.
I don't have a real Flambo. I have a Talisman Slambo, who doesn't have the two axes, but he has the same pose.
Yeah, I just beat you to it.
Yeah.
I'll have you know that we're on a little bit of a delay, so I think I beat you. Yeah, these Chaos Knights are rad.
Right, so like I think that's a kit that I will. Oh look, here's
Like it reminds me of what was it? Lord of Pestilence?
Oh no, the guy,
The guy on the horse.
I
what's that
actually
one?
I don't know what the kit is called, but I want to buy it because
Just to paint it.
yeah, I've always loved that kit when it was notable. But yeah, like I think that these guys I will strip and repaint
Yeah.
as Chaos Knights because these are great sculpts.
No, they're super cool.
Here's my conversion for
I
another.
like the paint job on these. This flies.
Yeah, they're not bad. I would probably do a similar shtick. But let's do you have anything? Yeah, so here's like the standard bearer is actually a shield with a flag.
Oh, that's cool. I'd like, I miss the flags. Like, I do wish that more. Like, I like that in Heresy, there's a Legion Vexilla. Like, you have to, I'll just put a little flag in with my company, and then you can have little flags to doodle on, which is nice.
It's the Demon Prince. I mean, like, look how small the models were. Like,
oh yeah, the scale stuff.
This is like a chunky infantry next to a Demon Prince. You know, we didn't have these giant models back in the day.
I'd say this is a fine size model. The infantry.
Yeah. The next generation of Chaos Warriors is, in my opinion, the best. Which I don't have any of.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. I would love to find some. Or that they will make them again. They'll bring him back.
This ogre is still my favorite.
Yeah. Maybe we'll throw it in the display case.
He's so cool.
Yeah. Everybody wonders why there's like so many dents in this desk and just dropping metal models on it. Yeah, this is from when they redid the ogres, when they did Ogre Kingdoms.
That's chaos for you. Corn's always gonna take his cut.
Okay, what's this? I don't even know what's in this box. It's not that interesting.
Not that interesting. We got some chariots.
Some chariots that are like a little busted, missing wheels and stuff.
Old plastic. See, that's a good cut there, Mr. Kervili.
Oh look, another Pegasus one. How many Pegasus Knights did I have?
I don't know, but
More than I thought.
they ended up in a rough way.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cool thing in here is actually these magnetic movement, they're like magnetic bases. So this is just all a magnet, but it's a block. So you put your 4 zombies on here.
Who needs movement trays?
Well, you'd still go into movement trade, but like zombies would die so fast that you're just like
Yeah.
grabbing 4 at a time, no problem.
That makes sense.
That's the most exciting thing in this box. Some R&R for these for the chariots.
We got a bunch of skinks.
This is old stuff.
Bunch of skinks and Saurus.
This is a model from something else. This is not Warhammer.
It doesn't look like Warhammer. It doesn't meet up very well.
Yes, it's Skinks and Saurus Warriors. I don't think... Yeah, there's a little bit of old Britannia in here mixed in. But yeah, like, this was the size difference between Skinks and Saurus. The, like, scale of everything was so much smaller. And man, this style has changed dramatically for them.
Yeah, the Saurus kind of look weaselly. I like the skinks though. I think the skinks hold up.
Yeah, the Skinks are great.
Skinks hold up great. Saurus look a little goofy.
Yeah, they're like standing alligators. Not in a cool way. Oh, if you've been having a good time watching me go through my old stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe.
For our show and tell episode here.
We did this 45 minutes into the episode, but it's better late than never.
We're not doing great.
No. This is a nice box. Oh, this is Mordheim stuff.
Skaven?
Yeah, it's Mordheim, Skaven, and my pirate warband. Mordheim. This was, I think, a Town Crier warband that came out, and I just converted everything that came in the starter box, and I was like, no, they're pirates. They're mostly not painted. But this is funny. I can't believe I still have this in this nice box.
I do think what's funny is Mordheim's one of those games that I always hear people still playing.
Yeah.
Like I know we got a group at Waystone there playing. Look at that rad boar.
This is just a box with a couple bases and a boar.
And a boar.
Not
very interesting.
No.
Bit boring.
Oh, that's for the joke.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. This
I got archers, baby.
Pegasus head. This
so
is
toothy.
I think this is actually an Infinity model. That cape. I don't think it's Warhammer.
Yeah.
This is more Skaven. That's where the gun came from. Oh, there it is. There is that. That's that. I think that's
I
Infinity.
don't think that's Infinity because Infinity is sci-fi.
Anima. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
This is not Warhammer, but old stuff that's in here.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Rackham minis from back in the day.
Oh, this is like some kind of a Dark Eldar, Dark Elf.
Conquest was Rackham.
Some kind of a Dark Elf on. She was riding a cold one.
I like her hair.
Yeah,
Big hair.
the Dark Elf were really cool. And I don't know. I don't think they're coming. I mean, everything is getting rules in Old World, but not everything is really good.
Like it took me a while to like, I don't know, because I came in after the Old World ended.
Yeah.
And everybody was still like a little sore about Age of Sigmar, but like the wounds had closed a little bit. And I felt kind of the mixed feelings of like, but look at all these cool new models and all of this. And I do get like looking at your Tomb Kings that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough thing to do. Or like I'm one of those people that I have a Sylvaneth force that I'm putting together. And I really like the Sylvaneth and how tree monster-y they are, and the bugs and all of that. And other people hate it because they don't have their wood elves anymore. And even the Sylvaneth, they aren't really wood elves, they're just tree people and bugs and ghosts.
It's just different army, and that's fine. They can be different, but don't sell it as the same thing.
No, I don't think they ever did.
Yeah.
But
I feel
I think people are upset because, you know, for the same reason that you're like, my Tomb Kings have been sitting here in a box for years, and there's no new versions of them. There's no anything going on. I think Squidmar had a whole video last week about how the new Kurnoth model that came out that was riding that beetle should have been Orion from the Wood Elves, and instead of even doing like a ghost Orion riding with the horn up, they did a Kurnoth hunter with the horn up. He's like, you could have just done one of the little ghost beetles and it would have been cool and fine, and you could have named it the same thing. It's fine, whatever. I understand you want to have your own IP, but
yeah, it's their own IP thing where they're like, oh, well, can't do the same. They can't call it that other thing. Yeah. But now they're going to the Old World and they are doing it. But these are ghouls. These are the modern, current, well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But these are still current until Saturday.
Yes.
When the new kit comes out. But these have never been painted. They came in the starter box. I wasn't into the ghouls part of Vampire Counts.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly I have a lot of skeletons.
Yeah, Mr. Crevelli. It's. I do like that they are the elves that have been kind of like sucked up and put into wood bodies with their little ghost cores. They're just ghost cores piloting wood mechs, you know.
It's to their cow.
Ugh. 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 That feels bad. I don't like that.
Are those fighting words?
No, but it makes me feel bad.
Here's the 40K.
Ah.
Found the Warhammer 40,000.
Look at the sprues. You never know when you're gonna need those bits.
Yeah, I tried to clean up a lot of stuff. So I think I have a rhino. I think this is a rhino.
This looks also like a rhino.
No, that's something better. Blood Angel. Blood Angel players are gonna lose their minds. This is actually missing a piece. This is a ball class predator.
Ah.
And it was all like, you know, you'd buy these kits and they were it's like all metal components to make it something different. So I had like the metal sponsons.
Wow. A lot.
Oh, with the flamers. Oh, that's so cool. What is happening?
It looks like it's upside down, maybe? Super weird.
It could be that I don't even know what's happening here anymore. This is from 1995.
1995.
But yeah, this was the sponson, and then there's the turret, and it had these like two it's like what's it called? Yeah,
Sure.
kind of deal.
Not quite autocannons.
No. But yeah, this I can't believe that this is still around. I think this came probably all the way from Sweden. Yeah, right. This is it builds two different ways
Oh, okay.
depending on what you're building, I guess. I don't know.
So did you put it together? Is it like more modular? Where you buy the bits and bobs and put it together, or was it one kit that you could put?
It was one kit, but you could buy the Predator kit, and it's the Rhino
Body and then
body, and then there's like another sprue in there for the Predator. Okay, so this is the first box, but we actually had there's actually more than one. The other two are much smaller. I think this one is not very exciting, but this is going back to like picking a project. If you pick a project that you know you have like this many bits for, this is mostly Tomb King bits. So, like the skeleton kits, like all sorts of, you know, like all the shields. So like these are actually great for doing stuff with. I see some more Mordheim stuff.
It is like when I started playing Heresy, and I was like, okay, what army do I want to play when I was in Heresy? And I was really close between White Scars and Space Wolves, but then I realized, because I have a 40k Space Wolves army, and I was sitting there looking at my box full of Space Wolf bits, going like, well, I have all the bits to do Space Wolf things, and if I do it for Heresy too. And so I ended up going in that direction. But I never really let the White Scar thing die. So I think that's what I'm going to be painting up soon.
Cool. I do really like White Scars, and I think about them every now and then. So this is, I know, very sought after terrain. It's not just any terrain. This is Mordheim terrain.
Ooh.
That came in the starter box. It came on these perforated punch-out cards, and it had these plastic, you know, like bits that hold it together. But this was like Mordheim is very, very terrain dependent.
Yeah, very vertical, very.
So this was a way to get you get a whole board. Oh yeah, I'm just moving this out of the way because there's more stuff in here.
Oh, you're moving. Oh, never mind. Sorry. This must be an auditory experience. Rattling.
Bits.
Oh yeah, that's an auditory thing. Cool. Some more bits.
Yeah, I'm collecting all the shields for those.
So many
Dream
Dream
Guard.
King bits.
But they're like everywhere. They're not. They're
They're everywhere. No, because you were a teenager when you put them all together.
Look, tiny little scissors. Doesn't have to be in here.
It shouldn't need to be there or loose. Just wait till you find the one X-Acto blade that you put in there back in the day.
Okay, what do we have here? This is paperwork.
Got rules.
Ganges River. This is homework. I found homework.
Wow.
This is probably when I learned about India in high school.
Hi, Tycho.
Getting started with Mordheim. Hi, Tycho.
I didn't know where. Hi, Tycho.
This is my Mordheim army list. Oh, and this is the Pirates Warband rules that I have printed, which I bet I had the person working at the local games workshop printed out for me.
Oh yeah, sure.
It was so nice back in the day. Games Workshop stores were like that was the place to hang out. Like that's where you'd go.
I hear people talk about that. Like, mom drops you off at the mall.
Yep.
And you go eat lunch in the food court, and otherwise hang out with a bunch of grown nerd men.
Yeah, and
at the Warhammer.
And that was the place to hang out because there weren't as many clubs. There wasn't oh, it's so dusty. I'm surprised the air filter isn't complaining yet. But yeah, that's kind of where you could go. You could go and paint your models there, and they'd have all the paints out. They'd help you. It wasn't just like a cranky manager working by himself. But here, Fallen Treeman and Fallen Giant templates from 5th edition. These are all the cards that came in the starter set. There's a lot of cards back in the day for all the rules and the note cards. This is how you were that was the recommendation for making your army list. Is you'd write your units, every unit you have in your army. Right, you even got
I love that. I mean, that's basically how I like to do it now. I don't like the app. I don't like the apps. I don't like fiddling with my phone to find out my rules. I like to have everything in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about the apps is that you can look specific. You can search for specific things now. But
Sure.
for most of the rules, I would still rather have them printed out. But I mean, ooh, this. I think this is like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy. Unrelated to Warhammer.
Unrelated to Warhammer.
It'll stay in this box for next time I open this one up. Lots of transfer. Whoa! Oh yeah, Crimson Fist transfers. What?
Oh, you paid big money for those.
Look at that! I have a set of 5 Crimson Fist transfers.
You gotta use those for the characters. I bet you they're so brittle and beat up now.
I have 2 big ones here. Wow. This is cool.
Man, there are only like 3 or 4. No, there's 4 Ultramarine logos on there because nobody cares about them.
Yeah, this is before. No, Ultramarines were already poster boys.
Yes, but not that much of poster boys.
No. Well, because nobody actually cared about 40K.
Wow, sure.
That was the thing. It was like 40K was oh, that's the casual game. Flamer template, gotta have them. Blast. Yeah, this is all. I have more stuff, but this is all the boxes that I have of like random unknown things.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot going on. And like, I'm sitting here watching you open it up and going like, yeah, that's a pretty cool true. But I also am seeing how much like emotional connection there is to all this stuff of like, this is all of my cool stuff as a kid.
yeah. Like remembering like where I was. I was really bad at Warhammer.
Well, yeah, who was?
still just okay.
I was gonna say I'm still bad.
It doesn't help that I like almost never play.
Wow.
I was talking to Dustin at Waystone yesterday,
Yeah.
and he was like, is it safe to say that you love painting models? And I was like, yeah, like I think so. Like, I think I've played on 2 occasions in the past like 6 weeks. Granted, one of them was the Grand Narrative where I played 6 games.
Sure.
But the only other thing that I've done, I played with our friend Wes. I played AOS with them, and that was it. That's like the 2 times I played any Warhammer.
Sure. I haven't played Warhammer in months.
Yeah.
But I've been playing Relic Blade. I've been playing little things. I do like to play games because it reminds me, like, it gets me in touch with the people that I'm hanging out with at the club.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm painting every day, and I'm playing games maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Maybe once every couple weeks. That's all right. That's that's what it's all about.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to probably try to play some more AOS. I'm like really excited about my Soul Blade. I'm working on some Graveguard now that they're moving pretty quickly.
It's really exciting.
The Vampire Lord that I painted, that I started working on last week, is feeling pretty close. Like all the colors are blocked in, especially the light colors that just take many coats to like build up the flesh base. So
yeah.
And then
well, you like when did you start on that? When you left the Crimson Fist to and then finished up your Tau for the Grand Narrative. And then
it was when I came back. I picked them up again.
I get to start on this thing that. Sometimes I feel like this. Sometimes I feel like I'm working on a thing and it's like, I gotta do this thing. I gotta do this. But in the back of my head, I'm going like, ooh, I really would like to start painting this thing and doing this and doing that.
Yeah, and I've actually also been painting up some Crimson Fists at the same time. Like I bounce back and forth. But now that I don't have this like pressure to finish them, I'm more in a rush to finish building my Crimson Fist.
Sure.
Because that's an army that I'll have just right around 2,000 points. So once it's all built, I can start playing with it.
Sure.
And then finish painting it whenever.
Yeah.
It's the kind of army that also gets varnished several times in the process. So I'm not worried about playing with unfinished models because almost any stage that I bring the models out in, they'll be varnished.
Yeah, totally.
So
no, same thing. I'm like I said, I'm starting up. I'm just gonna paint up a tactical squad of Beakies as white scars. And really,
Beakies.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that because I have them sitting around.
Yeah,
I might as well use them for things, and I'm just kind of excited for it as a painting project. I don't really plan on doing a big force or anything else, but I have an idea for how I want to paint a thing, and I want to paint it that way.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing an allied detachment from my 1,000 Suns to just have other 40 or 30K stuff. Yeah. We'll see. I have a lot of projects. Yeah. Some of them are going to get wrapped up before I start something new.
That's true. All right, now you know what's in the box. It's not. What was it? Oh shoot!
It's not Smog.
No, it's not her head. Ooh, what was her name? Shoot! Wow. Something 7 reference.
We made a joke.
Yep.
So next week, just Matt. I'm gonna be out of town, but I'll be hanging out in chat.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, I don't think it's the holidays yet. No, it's not. We'll be here the week after that again. Probably back in the garage.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope.
Oh god, it's a whole epic.
Yeah, if you want to know what's going on, you can always ask me, and I will talk about it until you tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
But until then, keep hobbying, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Bye.